When my wife and I lived in Hawaii before retiring, we rented our house, and so someone else was responsible for the lawn, for taking care of things. But now that we've been living in Texas in retirement, we bought a house. It has a yard in the front, a yard in the back, and the craziest thing, it seems like weeds come up in the lawn. And in the garden, we've got several gardens that we've planted, and weeds come up in them. And I was teaching a face-to-face class, and I asked them, how do you get weeds? How do you get weeds? And they said, you mean, how do you get rid of them? I said, no, how do you get them? How do they come in? And of course, they answered that you don't really have to do anything to get weeds. The weeds just show up. I mean, they're just there. And I asked, well, what happens if you don't do anything? What happens with the weeds? Do they just go away? And of course, I was being ridiculous. I know the answer. They don't go away. If you've got weeds, they're going to keep growing until they take over your garden. They'll infiltrate your lawn. You've got to pull them out if you expect to get rid of the weeds. Well, that's true in our lives too. The easiest thing to do is to do nothing about the weeds, to do nothing about those habits that keep you from doing what's best. The easiest is to pretend like it's not there. That really wasn't sinful. Maybe it was in bad taste, but it wasn't really a sin. Academically, the easiest thing to do is to not do the assignments, to not read all the readings. Maybe I'll get on the discussion board, somebody will say something brilliant, and I'll just say, oh yeah, I like that, that's a good idea. I'll learn from other people. I don't have to really do the assignments myself. But what happens then is that the weeds gradually begin to take over. They begin to infiltrate your life. The book of Proverbs, in many places, speaks to that issue. One of many verses that could be read is Proverbs 6, verse 6. Go to the ant, you sluggard, and consider its ways, and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. The ant's not really a very smart creature. I mean, individually, it's not all that brilliant, but it stays busy. And in staying busy, it cooperates with the other ants in the colony, and they save up food, and the colony as a whole survives. They do well because each individual ant has stayed busy doing what it is designed to do. There's something about living in America that beckons us always to seek entertainment rather than to seek challenge. You ever seen the play Little Shop of Horrors? There's a plant in Little Shop of Horrors that just gets bigger and bigger, and it's really exotic. Everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants to be entertained by that plant. But the thing is that the plant has to have blood to survive. And okay, the Little Shop of Horrors has been around a long time. Perhaps you know by now that the plant eventually winds up eating people. It devours them. And its constant refrain is, feed me! Feed me! That's kind of what we're like in America. Entertain me! Make me happy! Feed me! And we don't count the cost of that. The cost of letting the weeds take over the garden. So I encourage you, don't do what's easy. Don't do what doesn't require anything of you, because you won't grow that way. You'll be devoured. You'll be eaten up. You'll be covered over with the weeds that will take over your life. Don't take the easy way out. Take the challenge. Jesus suggested that the way to follow him was to pick up a cross. That's definitely not the easy way. That's what I encourage you to do. Pick up your cross. Your cross. It's something you die on. It's not easy. But it's the way to life.